party when suddenly I feel a tug on my pant leg. And I look down, and there's a small child there. The child looks up to me and says, "Excuse me, mister, why are you so fat?" I pause for a couple of seconds as I see his father is right behind him. He does nothing. I then look at the small child. I hate small children. You ever seen one of those cartoons where the eyes pop out of the head? That is exactly what happened with this kid. His eyes popped out of his head, he scooted across the floor, followed by his now very, very angry father. The uncomfortable truth is, we judge by visual. We have biases through our visualization. We look at things and we make assumptions. And as a result, it changes our belief system. That is the uncomfortable truth. I mean, it could be whether you're fat, black, woman, or maybe, just maybe, it's the fact that I'm wearing sweats, a sweatshirt, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm sitting in the middle of a speech when you don't think I should be. Uncomfortable truth, isn't it? Reminds me of another time that I learned an uncomfortable truth. It was the week before Christmas, and I'm at a speech tournament. And all through the night at this motel, nobody was stirring except for me and my buddy Fred. And oh yeah, there's a fire alarm. Now Fred was my best friend in college. He was my brother from another mother. He was there for me all the time. We used to work in the radio station together, do crazy stuff, and on Sunday he was the first one at church. We heard the fire alarm. We didn't think anything of it. So we continued to go upstairs back to our room. When all of a sudden I heard from below, "Hey! Hey, you!" "Yeah, you." It was an officer down below. Fire alarm still going off. Shrugged. And we walked back downstairs. What seems to be... Get the blank against the wall! Excuse me, is there something... You know what the bleep you did! Get against the wall! You pulled the bleeping fire alarm. Officer, I didn't... No! You bleeping... Get against the wall. His cuffs, they're a little tight. Shut the bleep up. He then took Fred and I to the hotel lobby, where we sat, cuffed. When I was a kid, my grandparents used to tell stories about their relatives from the Holocaust. They told me one story about how there were relatives of ours. But one was supposed to be on the first train, and the next were supposed to come on the additional train. Second group never came. I was told that you always needed to defend yourself, to speak out. And so I did. Hey, I think you got this all wrong. And that's when Fred would say, Jeff, shut up. No, we're done. Jeff, be quiet. Fred. All right. After about an hour, decided to release us. Told us not to leave. So we went back to our hotel room, waiting to see how it played out next. A little while later, the officer would come by. He'd tell us that he apologized because the fire alarm that got pulled was on the other side of the motel, nowhere near where we were. And he left. My hands still bruised and hurting. I looked at Fred. I said, why? What was that about? And he looked at me and said, Jeff, it's what I was taught to do. My friend Fred is black. And at that moment, I realized an uncomfortable truth. That like that child, I had judged Fred on what I saw and not trusted my beliefs in my friend. He had come from an entirely different background. And I wish I could say that this wasn't the last time that Fred and I would be in a situation like that, because it wasn't. We deal with uncomfortable truths every day. Whether it be black, being charged for a fire alarm you didn't bring, or even something as simple as the fact that you're wearing a hoodie, wearing sweats, or having a seat when you shouldn't. Do you feel uncomfortable? Judge me by my character and who I am, not by what I do and how I look. Besides, you gotta be careful. I eat small children. Mr. Toastmaster.